us covered everything I wanted to say.
Yeah.
No need to repeat.
Can I ask a question?
You may.
I just want to get this understudy designation. Really, anything, any piece of land in the city could be understudy. I mean, if somebody wanted to rezone it, they could study.
Correct.
A follow-up question to what Ms. Stodgel just asked. In terms of the process of somebody coming to town and wants to rezone a piece of property, right across the street versus City Farm. And right across the street, if I recall, I think it's C5 or C3. And what is the difference in the process for that person who wants to rezone that C3 property to, let's just say they want to build 206 houses, versus the person who wants to rezone a City Farm property for 206 houses with the understudy designation? Is there anything different because it's called understudy?
Well, they wouldn't be able to do it because what allows you to develop the property is the zoning. Okay, right now the zoning is park, so you can't do anything out there except the park. Okay, that's clear. C3 was probably not the best zoning.
You may
to
use a
choose.
different zoning.
Because in C3 you can do residential. Let's go to, let's say, C2 zoning, or the land use is identified as commercial and you want to put houses there. In order to change that zoning, you would have to change that land use. And the two would come before Planning Commission and City Council together, or the land use would come first. The nice thing and the safety mechanism you have with the City Farm is that it's already zoned park. So there really isn't anything you can do other than a park right now without having to go through both processes. You're going to have to change, you're going to have to do the study in order to change the land use. And you're also going to have to change the zoning in order to do something other than a park. And with any other, like a commercial use where you wanted to put housing, you're going to have to change the land use, which would probably be identified as commercial, and then change the zoning. But in this case, if you want to do a park, you can do a park right now.
So, to distill that down so that I can understand it, the processes are the same whether it is understudy or it's park. Is that correct?
That would be correct.
That is correct.
Didn't it just go through similar documents?
Yes.
Changes on one of the
Wegmans
conditions.
was zoned industrial.
Right.
The property.
The property was
So
zoned
it would have
industrial.
been a down zoning.
Right, so they wanted to change the zoning and change the use to retail commercial.
Correct.
And that went through the entire, if members of the public remember that went through a very contentious 5.5-hour meeting about them wanting to come in and a lot of information being sent, and ultimately it didn't go through.
And just correct me if I'm wrong, if now it is park, anything less would be down zone.
Can't really.
Well, I mean, it's really not even about down zoning or up zoning. It's really just about the zoning itself. The community has said today that they want it to be developed as a park. It can be developed as a park right now, regardless of what that land use is, regardless of the land use, because the zoning already identifies it as a park.
So I guess the way I understand it, the term understudy just gives some latitude to show that the city is forward-looking into the future. Let's look at this in its entirety.
Correct. I mean, the city did not go and change the zoning.
Right.
But
They
it
never,
doesn't
ever
prohibit
changed the zoning.
a study if we change it to park.
Right.
That's correct. The only thing I'm concerned about is the perception is when you change it to park, if it's understudy and someone comes back and it comes before this board again, so if the study is enacted and people are unaware that that's occurring, right now in a public document, the citizens are completely aware that the city has this property understudy. It's zoned to park, but they're studying. If we change it to park for the people that didn't watch this, and all of a sudden everybody sits back and goes, well, it's always going to be a park, but potentially it could not be. So it's just I think it's a transparency thing. If somebody said, hey, please let me do it.
You could always
I think
rezone it.
yeah,
I don't
I mean,
agree.
I don't understand that point because the land is being parked. Doesn't,
Right.
I mean, and I made a motion, maybe I can call that we vote for it or not.
Well, we're in discussion.
Call the motion.
But even though it's zoned park, somebody could come forward in, 50 years from now, let's just say, and say, I would like to look at this and zone it C2, and they could put it for rezoning.
They can request a rezoning,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
50 years ago or 50 days from now.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't study for fun.
I do, Joe.
You don't.
I do, Joe.
Understudy now to see if it's got something underground there that's valuable.
Yeah. Pastor, this
I
did have a question, yes.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Well, the public hearing has been closed, so
Yeah.
to be able to take questions from the public, we'd have to reopen the public hearing.
Well, I call it-
No, just one question. One question I'd like to ask.
Doesn't-
What's driving this development? Is it economic development or engineering development? What's driving it? Because before now, it wasn't a problem. What's driving this study? Is it an economic drive because of the city, what the city wants to do? Is that the problem? The city wants the land to turn into the houses, so we have this study? It's been a park all along. There was a motion on the floor. You voted on it and you seconded it. Oh, you seconded it, but you haven't voted.
Excuse me, please.
Yes, sir.
So how the process works is we close the public hearing and we put it before the commissioners.
Okay.
The commissioners have a right to comment and question one another.
Yes, sir.
At this point, any comment from the public is not considered because we closed the public hearing.
Okay.
The vote doesn't take place until I'm sure that all the commissioners have had their questions or the ability to comment, and then I call for the roll.
Okay.
Thank you. Are there any other comments from the commissioners?
So, well, yes, Ms. Willis.
And my only concern with the words understudy, because I understand what a park is. I understand what green space is. I understand what residential is. I understand most of the commercials. I have to look it up. I understand industrial. I don't understand what understudy means. And I looked in the definitions, the appendix that was added to the comprehensive plan. I looked under the definitions and acronyms, and it is not included. So I don't have a definition of what understudy is, and that's why I don't like it, and I don't want it there, because it can say park.
So let me ask a procedural question. Currently, the plan sits as it is, it's before us for review. We have a motion before us that says that we want to change. We're approving it with the change.
That's what you're voting on.
Okay, so that's what we'll be voting on. So that's an appropriate motion, and we're in good shape on that, okay. Any other comments?
Yes. I think Beth just brought up a great point. And by the way, you brought up several good points, and I appreciate that. Why isn't there a definition of understudy?
You could easily add a definition
I
of
mean,
understudy.
we do have a vote that needs to be taken, but I also think we should probably, there are, 7 other areas that are understudied?
No.
Those are planning opportunities.
I'm sorry, planning opportunity areas. I think you need to have a definition of that.
Well, if I were to put a definition in here, the definition would read something like this. A temporary designation that requires in-depth study of an individual parcel that is of undetermined value by the citizenry of Newport News.
Undetermined value.
We've already determined.
Yeah, that's already been determined 5 years ago.
We're just trying to come up with a definition for understudy.
Are there any other questions or comments from the commission? Melissa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Simmons?
4.
Commissioner Soggle?
4.
Commissioner Willis?
4.
Commissioner Gross?
4.
Commissioner Fox?
Or,
Commissioner Whitcamp?
4.
Commissioner Carpenter?
4.
Commissioner Mulvaney?
4.
0.